I'm Frederick March. I'm here to show you what the best practices are to change your life and to become more successful in everything you do. This is episode 20, Relationships.
Hi everybody, how you doing? Rev Fred here. This podcast is going to be, I wouldn't say more personal, but personal. You know, I've come to this realization is that one of the most important aspects of life, anywhere, in heaven, on earth, anywhere, is relationship. This podcast is called Relationships. You know, we need to hold fast to the relationships that we've been blessed in our life with. Some people are so lonely and have very few relationships. But it's not because people don't want to have relationships with people. It's because you, with your insecurities, maybe don't reach out or don't step out or don't realize the value of relationships and communication and community, you know, how important that is. I'm going through something difficult. I really haven't mentioned what it is, and I'm probably still not going to mention what it is. Some people who are really close to me, they'll know what I'm going through. But what I'm learning in this situation is that the effort that I put into the relationships that I've built in my life, spiritual relationship with people who are of like faith that I go to church with, the pastors and, you know, my family members, friends, co-workers, all those people. You develop relationships with people and friendships with people. I have people from all around the U.S. and Canada who are reaching out to me in my time of struggle and need to check on me, to see how I'm doing, and to pray for me and be willing to be there for me. And I have people who are local who I interact with at church on a regular basis who they call me. Like, I've gotten 4 phone calls today and messages today from people just checking on me to see how I'm doing. That's fantastic. But you know, the only reason that happened is because I made a choice to cultivate relationships. I made a choice to be there for people. I don't judge them if they make a mistake. I'm not critical of their situation. I want to be there for them. I want to support them. You know, I hear people in the business world and podcasts and stuff like that talking about how do you create a really good business relationship with somebody. And the people who are really successful, who are really doing this well, have learned this lesson. The way is relationship. Don't think about yourself. What can I do to help you? What can I do to make your life better? What can I do to increase your business? It's not about me, it's what you need. And that's the same thing with relationships. Yeah, they'll be there for you. They'll step up and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? How are you feeling? All this kind of stuff. But the reality is, it's because I've been there for them. I want to be there for them. I want to love them and support them and encourage them. I want to do that. That's what I love to do. But I love to do it only because I see the reaction in people when I listen and I hear what they're saying and I talk to them and I have communication with them. It's an awesome interaction. But it's exactly the same with God. There's relationship there. It's not a religion, it's a relationship. It's spending time with God, just being still and listening. Just be still and know He is God. Just being quiet and being in His presence and telling Him that you love Him and that you appreciate Him and, you know, He's wonderful. And what do you need me to do, Lord? What do you want me to do? How do you want me to go forward? How do you want me to react in this situation to bring you to the forefront? that's an act of service for him. And it shows him that I love him. He loved me way before I loved him. He set me aside, he set me free way before I had an interactive relationship with God. Now people say you can't communicate with God, you can't talk to him and he talked back to you. That's not true. I'm not saying I hear an audible voice from the Lord. There's times that I have, but I'm not hearing that. I'm sensing his presence. I am reading the word and it's speaking to me. He's giving me revelation in that situation. I'm spending time with prayer and I feel joy and peace. I feel love. That's my interaction with the Lord. That's how it works. But that's the same thing as when I'm on my phone talking to a friend, to a brother in the Lord, a sister in the Lord, and family members, my brother and his wife, and my mom. These people are wonderful people who would just want to be there for me and support me and love me through my situation. And they've rolled out the red carpet and they're treating me, praise God, like I would treat them if they were in my situation. Even though I'm going through something really difficult, I'm really feeling loved and supported. I really am feeling that way. And I'm also changing how I feel about myself. I am feeling more love from me. I'm feeling more compassion from myself. I'm not feeling so down on myself. I'm not feeling so negative about my situation, my lack of this or lack of that. I don't feel that way at all. I feel very supportive of me and what I'm going through. Life is a wonderful, 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 wonderful trip. If you focus on what's precious, what's lovely, what's good. If you focus on the negative, you focus on what you're losing, you focus on, well then it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be happy. It's not going to be content. I'm literally surprised that I am in the mood that I'm in, the joy that I'm feeling, even though I'm going through something difficult. God's good. People are good. Family is good. It's all wonderful stuff, It really is wonderful. It's such precious, precious, precious gift. More precious than anything else. Spiritual family, physical family. Father in heaven. My fathers that are in heaven. It just really is emotionally really, really wonderful. And I know there's people out there who probably don't have that kind of community. But that's a choice you made. It's a choice you made. You might not realize you made that choice, but you've made that choice. You can have a community in the next few days. Find yourself a local church and walk in the door and say, I'm lonely, I'm sad, I have no family members, I need a community. Can I take part? I guarantee they'll say yes. I guarantee they'll say yes. Come on in. What do you need? If they're a family of God like we are at our church, they will invite you in and want to support you. And in turn, you get the pleasure of supporting that church. You get the pleasure of saying, okay, no, I'm not saying you're going to be cursed if you don't do a tithe, but if you do a tithe, you get to take the 10% and give it to the body of Christ that you're in. And they get to use that to help people, to keep the church open, to pay the pastor's salary, to do all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, God gets to bless you with your remnants. He gets to bless you with everything you do. Now all of a sudden you're going to see yourself, all of a sudden, you're not even going to know where it's coming from, but you'll be saving money on this bill and saving money on that bill. And now this is free for whatever reason. And you get a refund you didn't expect to get. Stuff is just going to happen. God is going to make a way. He's going to increase what you have left. And it's going to become more manifested. Unfortunately, right now, there's a member the church that I'm going to, who is not doing well physically, and she's in the hospital. You know, the people from the church have stepped up and who's supporting her, went there for her, checked her out at home, found that she was not doing well, called the ambulance, brought her to the hospital with their supporting her. She is not even conscious, but these people love her and want to support her and are praying for her and are there for her and want to. That's real love. That's real love, real compassion. People who will sacrifice their own life for somebody else. Not because it's a liability, not because it's a responsibility, because it's what's in their heart to do. Wonderful, wonderful people of God. Wonderful. Really representing the Lord nicely. You can be a part of that group. You can be somebody in the church. When you become part of the fellowship and you're in there long and you become part of the group, you become that kind of person people can go to. Somebody might come in and go, you know what, I'm really struggling. Would you mind if I gave you a call? And you can minister to that person and help them get through a tough time. That's an awesome blessing. If you're going through a hard time, you can reach out. They can reach out to you. How are you doing? What's going on? But I know people who have gone to the church on a regular basis for a while, who don't have that relation, never developed that kind of personal relationship, who aren't there for somebody else. And if something happened, maybe they would be kind of like out there by themselves. But they make a choice. When somebody says, hey, would you like to go with us? We're going out for breakfast, or we're going out for lunch, or we're going to have a potluck this day. Would you like to come and join us? And then, no, that's okay. And they don't, and they don't, and they don't. And they don't take part, and they don't take part. Well, then people are going to take the assumption that they don't want to. And so they're not going to reach out. So when somebody asks you, would you like to? You say, yes, I'd love to. Even if you're anxious inside about doing it. So you go do it. People are not perfect. People make mistakes. People get hurt and maybe rebel against who you represent to them. It may not be even you. It may not be even you. It may be somebody else who did something who is similar with you, or somebody else who is new to the church. Not everybody's perfect. People make mistakes. Be forgiving. Don't take it personal. You go into a situation, don't take it personal. If you specifically see that there's somebody who maybe has an issue with you for whatever reason, and you know it's not actually about you, you know what my suggestion would be? And this is what I'm planning to do, is specifically find out what's interesting to that person and ask them some questions about it. Hey, what about this situation? I see this as the situation. Well, what would you suggest that I do? I'm looking into doing something. Ask those questions. Open the door. When they see that you're interested in their point of view and their opinion, people right away will become more interested in what you have to say. But if you never talk to them and you never interact with them, you just, okay, well, that person's, they don't like me. They might not like you. Maybe they're shy and they just don't know how to reach out to somebody new. Maybe they don't like you. Maybe it has nothing to do with you. Maybe it has something to do with something else. Maybe you look like somebody that they had an issue with before. Show them that you're not that kind of person. Be loving. Be caring. Bring donuts to church and say, hey, donuts for everybody. You're not buying their love. You're showing respect and honor to people. You're liking them, loving them, showing them that you're not what they think you are. Be generous. Be a blessing. Relationships are work sometimes. Sometimes it's difficult in relationships. But it's worth that difficult fight. Sometimes you're going to have a disagreement and things are not going to be the way you like it. My suggestion is you take that and you give it to God. And recognize and realize that these people in front of you are just people just like you who make mistakes. Maybe they didn't make a mistake. Maybe your opinion is wrong. Maybe your opinion is not wrong. Maybe your opinion is right. Who cares? Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. What matters is that person in front of you has a heart, a soul, a spirit that you need to honor and love. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. What matters is that person, does they feel respected and honored? If not, change it. So I got a tickle in my throat from a new medication that I was taking. Relationships are a critical part of life. A lot of people are worried about one day being alone. Or they're all alone now and they're sad about it. That's a choice. That's a choice. As long as there's a local church in your area that has an opening of a door on a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday morning, you can walk through that door and sit down and have a relationship. You can do that. There's nothing stopping you. It's so critical. I feel sad for people who are throwing away relationships because of a difference of opinion or something. Doctrine is not important. Love. You can gain the whole world, but if you do not have love, you're nothing. Just a noisemaker. This podcast is about relationship. I know that this relationship here is a one-way relationship. I know it. I don't want it to be that way. I want to be a two-way relationship. You reach out to me talking to you. That's what I want. I love you. I really do love you. I really think you're precious and wonderful. Build relationship. And maybe the relationship that you're hoping to find, like if you are looking for an intimate relationship, maybe that's not what you'll find, but you'll find a friendship. And who knows, if you're patient, that friendship might turn into something else, if that's the opportunity. Just be patient, be loving, be caring. Don't push anything. God's timing is perfect. Our timing can be a little flawed. A little bit. So, relationships are really, really important. It is the glue that holds life together. And I'm telling you, if you don't have one right now, you can find one quickly. Just go to your local church, walk through the door. Be honest with people. Hi, I'm not a believer. I believe that this is a place where I could be received and show and receive love from people. Is this a place for me to do that? If they say no, run, because it's not a place where God is laying his head. Not a place. If they say yes, come in. Let us love you. Sit down. Fellowship with people. Have a conversation. Listen to what's being preached. See if they're preaching in a way that the person preaching is being vulnerable, is being open, is being caring. If they say that they have no issues and there's no problems with their life, they're lying to you, or they're just not willing to share it. Okay, I love you. Great big hug from me, okay? Great big hug. Relationships, very important. Very important. More important than anything else, I think, in this world is relationships. Communication, conversation, lifting one another up, holding our arms together in one accord. Yeah, it's really, 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 really powerful thing. Find it. Seek it. Sacrifice your insecurities to build it. Sacrifice your opinion to maintain it. It'd be worth it, I guarantee. Bye-bye. I love you. I hope to see you soon.